Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Sunless Skies, where today I think we're probably just going to mirror what we did yesterday. Heading west and then sweeping north was very successful for us, and we'll just go this way this time and sweep north. Still have a lot of important things to find. I think we're done with our business in London, we should just get on it. Hey, didn't I enter the dock facing south at the end of the last episode? It was nice of them to turn me around, but how did they know I wanted to be turned around? This could have been their idea of a funny prank, and it was just, accidentally the case that it was good for me. I guess, okay. I'm gonna try to go through here. We should map out stuff while it's convenient to do so. Let's try to, just do this thing, and then we'll see what's out here and wrap around the outside of the map. So I still don't have any idea whether or not there are transit relays in Albion that take us anywhere other than the Reach. It would seem kind of strange for the Reach to be the only way to get to the other kingdoms, or the other maps. But I guess it makes a certain kind of sense. Like, the Reach as sort of like the neutral wilderness between the places. Because the Blue Kingdom, presumably, has its own balance of power and its own monarch. It's a kingdom, after all. Well, I think given where our terror is at, we probably ought to just pay our respects here. Ooh, I do love a mysterious gleaming, but I think we probably ought to just keep the terror down. I'm sure we're going to see some screwed up stuff on our journey today. I'm trying not to... That's exactly the opposite of what I wanted. What I was going to say is I'm trying not to knock all of the coffins just, floating out into the sky. Not because I think there's any mechanical reason not to do that, but because it feels bad to me. And then I managed to engage the wrong side thrusters and just do the absolute worst possible job of the thing I was going for there. So have you ever seen, a movie or a TV show or a cartoon or something where a character has a night where they do something that they are going to regret later, and then there's a scene where they wake up in bed and they're kind of groggy, and they're like, oh, what did I do last night? And then they have that cold grip of realization set in, like, oh, that's what I did. I had one of those this morning. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh god. Did I say something overt about real-world political systems during that Sunless Skies episode last night? There are going to be so many people screaming at me in the comments. And of course, it was not the case. I am overly concerned. But a little gun-shy. I've seen some perfectly reasonable statements made by perfectly reasonable people on YouTube and Twitch turn into, full-blown screaming arguments in chat and comment sections. And I'm especially a little... gun-shy is not the term I want to use, because you should not react to something like this by getting scared off. But I'm a little... Ooh, hey, hold on, there's something of value out here. But I'm a little, maybe, sensitive to the idea. Is that... Okay, are those eels? Those seem larger. Those are not eels. Well, we got ourselves an uncanny specimen. Something writhes in the mist. No doubt about that. What? Ugh. I have no idea what that was, but we just totally took it on board the train on purpose. And have we all already forgotten about what happened with the guests? Really? What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I got caught off guard a little bit with the Pathway series. Because if you're not watching the Pathway series, it's a game that's set in a sort of a... We're definitely not going there, by the way. Set in a sort of an Indiana Jones sort of setting and time period, and so you end up fighting a lot of Nazis in that game. I guess we'll just lure these ones on board as well. This is creeping me out. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? Oh my god. Okay, we're running. Holy shit, what is happening? Okay, I thought for a moment about shooting it. I don't think I should shoot it. Where the hell are we? I sort of want to get away. This part of the mist is very scary, apparently, is what we're discovering. Do I want to go deeper? Here's the thing. So we got the achievement, when we found the floating parliament last time, we got an achievement for finding all of the ports in the Reach. So this area is pretty unfamiliar to me. And if we hadn't gotten that achievement, I would assume that there would be a port in an area that looks as significant as this one does. But since we suspect that that's probably not the case, I guess this could be where Worlebury is now, right? Worlebury is very misty. No, maybe. I suppose let's go have a look. I am actually real world kind of freaked out a little bit right now. I'm not playing that up for the series. That was actually unsettling. How was I talking about? Oh, Pathway. So it's a game where you shoot Nazis. I had to delete a number of comments that is greater than one for being, I would say, shockingly pro-Nazi. Not an experience that I was expecting to have, and so you can understand why I might be a little bit nervous about the reception of saying anything political at this moment. I keep seeing things swirl in the mist, and I'm very nervous. I'm just very nervous right now, in a lot of ways. Okay, that looks like a thing we would have to assay down there. Jeez, they really... Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god! Yep, just keep sailing. Just keep the W key pressed forever. You've got to get further north than this. They did a really good job redesigning Albion and making it more visually impressive. They've really accomplished something here. The belly is what that text says. We are in the belly now. Something stirs below. The repentant devil looks thoughtful. We could have fun here. Nope. Out of the mists and away from the mists. Here we go. That looks like a structure that's still intact, that hasn't been devoured by any kind of terrifying mist monster. Let's just be over here for a while. Okay, bunch of cinders and ash in the air. We might be near Brabazon. Okay, there are things to crave. There is also a dock. You are not where you thought you were. The sky is wrong. This is not where you are meant to be. Was it a trick of the mists? Has a wind carried you astray? Have the heavens themselves turned on their axis? I think it could very well have been a trick of the mists. Well, we could just press on. We do have heirs of terror. We have not earned the wrath of the waste waif. I'm going to assume that this is going to cost us 2 fuel if we do it. But we're pretty close to a dock. Can I? No, I cannot look at my chart right now. I don't know if the place that is sells fuel or not. I think we'd best just press on. I don't know that we can afford to lose 2 fuel. Oh, that's not good. The mist is soft at the windows. The stars have gone awry. You crawl onward. There is an outbreak of violent star madness among the crew. In time, you find your way back to a stretch of sky you can locate on your chart. Your journey continues. We've lost 3 crew. That's very grim. I guess maybe the less specific said about the star madness, the better. Wait, what was that? What was that we just got? Huh, because that's the, an unidentifiable squirming. Dispose of it swiftly at Worlebury Juxtamar. Okay, hold on. The chart. Okay, we don't know what that is. I guess let's go there directly. Do you think... They did a really good job making that eye look real. Oh, Jesus. I'm so distracted by it that I'm not even paying attention to the train. Just ramming into stuff. I was about to ask a question, and now I actually can't remember what it was. Okay. This is definitely Worlebury. Where's the dock? Oh, it's over there. We're on the wrong side, and I just don't want to be over here anymore. So much I don't want to be over here anymore. Oh, okay. Actually, a lot of this is not on the same plane that we are. I can actually just sail over this. This stuff looks like it is, doesn't it? Just sort of made an assumption there. Okay, well, I think our squirming is still aboard. Jesus. Big day. Alright, fog rises from below, seeping through the wooden slats of the dock. We could sell off some more of our uncanny specimens. That was pretty fun last time. You know, we could maybe use a good recruitment opportunity. Most of those queuing are unsettled by the mist. We could tell them, in all honesty, that the moment our business is done in port, we will be sailing directly away from the mist. You hurry the panicked visitors aboard, and they quickly sign contracts of service. Anything to get away from here as soon as possible. Yeah, I get where they're coming from. I have never understood it quite as well as I understand it now. Huh. So they're selling caged catches. These are not super easy to come by. Do we have any of these right now? No? Where would they be? I don't even know. We might buy one of those. Okay, you can buy fuel and supplies here. That is lovely. Alright, well, we have some basic stuff to get done here, so... what do I do with this squirming? Properly cage your unidentifiable squirmings. So we'll trade your unidentifiable squirmings for caged catches. Okay, that's handy. Now I don't feel the need to buy one of those. One elderly fisher raises her stern eyebrows. I see, she says. She orders 2 of your crew to hold the squalling nest of coils, still, while she fetches a cage, welding helmet, and a large hammer. The thing boils and screams and secretes, but it is soon trapped all the same. Hey, who hasn't been there? The fisher kindly provides a bell jar to drown out its silly mewling. Okay, well, we caged whatever that was. We should not take things onto the train if I have to speak about them in that way. Alright, well, why don't we trade in some of our uncanny specimens here to get in and take a shot, if we can, at figuring out what exactly it is that is going on around here, because this place is super weird. Obviously a hat. You should know me by now. I will need one of those extremely fine hats. Make it taller this time. I love it when they're tall. Alright. Your contact said you could find one of her passengers acting as the murderous butler. That is a thing that we need to do. Let's go ahead and pick up the passenger. The haunted house is a coarse artifice, populated by actors who you wouldn't even cast in a pantomime. The White Lady leaves flowery footsteps wherever she glides. The chef offers you a set of unconvincing pies she claims were made from the previous visitors. And in the library, an old, dour man lurks with a feather duster in one hand and a cleaver in the other. You present the murderous butler with the new street line ticket. His tears, for the first time in this house, are genuine. You hurry him to your engine. Next stop for him is Port Prosper. I'm sure we'll have to go back to the Reach at some point. This is a weird thing, by the way. The British use the word pantomime a lot more often than Americans do. It is so low frequency that I can't even really, we would only use the word pantomime to describe the thing that a mime does. That's the cultural understanding of pantomime here. But I know it's a little bit more common in Britain. Oh, and hey, we have the ability to consider the strangeness of the lanes. Let's get on this immediately. The lanes do not appear as advertised, but of all their sins, that one is the least phantasmagoric. We have a 100% chance of success this time. We have gained mirrors since we were here last. It is most likely the smiles, maybe. Carnivore expressions, syrupy and gleaming, faultless mirrors of the couturiers' dazzling grin. Or maybe it's the second-rate souvenirs cobbled from haberdashery and children's nightmares. The arsenic aftertaste of the candy floss, the wine-wild quality of the local perfumes. It could be anything. Could just be your insecurities, the error of your existence. Whatever the case, the Lanes continue their watch. Politely, of course. As you become familiar with the oddities of Worlebury, more of the port will become available. In a place so bright and joy-filled, it's easy to be distracted. Whatever it was you'd noticed about Worlebury Juxtamare, it's gone now. We gained, for some reason, a gourd of chorister nectar, and then also a savage secret and some gossip, which is a little bit more understandable, and also some terror. Good, can never have enough terror. Let's definitely get this port report, as long as we're here. And then we should probably actually do some stuff, because I could use some terror reduction. Let's just drink some tea. You know how we feel about tea. There's actually a pretty good amount of terror we just dropped there. Ah, yes, and we steal some of their crockery, because, you want to fit in, right? Now, we have the ability to consider the strangeness of the lanes again. Alright, fine. Undoing all of this good terror reduction. So every time we do that, we're gaining a gourd of chorister nectar. I'm not 100% clear on why. Oh, interesting. Clamber through the gnarled door. The door slides like a thief into the periphery of your vision, too short to enter unless you crawl. The way the stuff in this place is written about is familiar to me in a way that's a little bit unnerving. There's something about this that it feels like something I remember, but I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. You pry the door open. Inside is the throat of a short tunnel, connective tissue, really, leading out into a star-swallowed twilight. A canal slicked with juices that cannot so much be seen as felt. Your journey begins here. Is this whole place sort of like an anglerfish light, maybe? You press down. It sticks to you, vernix and the warm reek of intestinal meat, gelatinous and insistent that you remain where you are. This is not a good place to go. We should not be going down into we should not be going down into the stomach of whatever this thing is. Perhaps it is the Sisyphean nature of the travel, perhaps it's carelessness. Whatever it is, the voice of a man ahead of you, salt dry and salt cold, comes as a surprise. "You are late for the sermon, too?" he hisses. "We mustn't be late for the sermon." His hand grasps yours, tugs you through a translucent membrane, across the path, through church doors. You don't have time to observe the port. The air seizes you, cold as a corpse's kiss, and something about it is wrong. Yeah, I would say that's a fair description. We should have bought supplies. Something tells me we might want to light out from the port in a real hurry here. The bedraggled parson stands before his people, palms raised. "Today we stand before they who must grieve to give praise to their sacrifice. Without them there would be no joy, no agony against which we might juxtapose the sweetness of our existence. Do not ever forget this. If you forget all else, do not forget this." He raises his eyebrows at you. "A pleasure to see a new member. Please join us later, on the beach." Huh. So he's cool with us being an unfamiliar face. That's good, I guess. Well, we could listen to the sermon. I mean, probably you think we get yelled at for talking during the sermon? There is a restless-seeming individual of indeterminate age, gender, and species to our left, and a diminutive old woman, her hair swaddled in gold filigree, to our right. I'm awfully curious about this person to our left. Hello, they burble gently at you, their voice like a chorus of brooks. Yo, I cannot do a voice that sounds like a chorus of brooks. You're new. When they speak, you can see that they do not, in fact, have tongues, but a mouth like the inside of an intestine, soft with pale villi. Not familiar. Perhaps that is why they sound the way they do. Again, not something I can easily recreate. The Bureau does not like me in Worlebury Juxtamare. They don't even like me in the off-season. But I have seen They Who Must Grieve, and I will remember that day always. It transformed my body, my mind, my heart. Is that what happened to your body? Okay, well, I'll be honest with you, that was not super informative. Let's listen to the sermon a little bit. And we cannot, beloveds, allow ourselves to be afraid of they who must grieve. In our ignorance we defame as monsters, but are we not the monstrous ones? We who live so alone. The bedraggled parson paces across his stage, lit up from behind by his reverence, his conviction in the sutures of his speech. Here is a man assured in his precise place in the universe. So have faith, my beloved flock. Have faith in the wisdom of they who must grieve. Have faith in them, for they have suffered eons, so that we may understand joy. I have questions that I suspect are not going to be answered in any direct fashion. Well, I guess the only thing left to do is to talk to this old woman. Upon closer inspection, it becomes evident that it isn't hair that sits atop her skull, but thousands of delicate cilia. Still, aside from that one anomaly, the woman seems normal, and generous with her attention. Oh, well, if that's all. I like coming here. The parson's got a good heart. No idea what he's trying to say sometimes, but he's got a good heart. He wants us to rise up, rise beyond who we are and what we are. We've just got to give ourselves to they who must grieve. That's how I got this. She strokes her hair. Her hair. In the mists. She leans in. But honestly, I'm only here because the parson's a pretty one. Okay, I mean, you do you, lady. She knows what she likes. An unexpected intrusion. There is little resistance from the congregation, merely an affected resignation. The officers from the Bureau of Entertainment are civil as they evict the crowd. Okay, so this seems to be a place that an awful lot of people know about. Once they've surmised that you do not belong, the officers leave you largely alone, occupying themselves instead with the task of extricating the parishioners. The bedraggled parson's disciples cooperate with only minimal contempt, moving where they're told, answering questions when they're asked. All in all, a courteous disruption. Come on then, let's go. The rictus smiles of the officers are identical in their splendor, as is the exquisiteness of their uniforms and the oiled shine of their dark hair. The Bureau of Entertainment is the branch of the Ministry of Public Decency responsible for the well-being and upkeep of Worlebury Juxtamare. They take their duty seriously. So this is not coming as any big surprise to them. Did they have to get here through a door that leads through an intestine? Because I feel like everybody here is not freaked out enough about what is happening. I guess that was true even before we came through the intestine. Well, am I the kind of person who does what a cop tells me to do? We've certainly had some unfortunate run-ins with officials of Her Majesty's government. You know what? I'm gonna take off here. We have encountered something really weird here, and I don't want them to put me back on the other side of the veil, so to speak. Sod this. You flee from the Bureau of Entertainment enforcers who are, quite naturally, aghast by your audacity. This is not Worlebury as you know it. This without glitz, glamour, or a single tourist barring yourself. The port lies sprawled under a sky now cataracted with milky nebulae. None of the familiar constellations are in sight, and every building's a bone gnawed to the marrow. Despite the dilapidation, the place bustles with grim activity. And the smell The cloying putrescence of it, a stink of hay and fecal matter, brined in a miasma of dead marine life, copper, and fresh bread. Well, okay, that last one's alright. Honestly, I kind of like the smell of copper, too. So, boy, where are we, like, spatially relative to the part of Worlebury that the tourists go to? Okay, it kind of seems like we might be in the same place. We're just now perceiving it differently. Worlebury Juxtamare has become a corpse. The run-down bones of its forgotten attractions swarm with bedraggled men and women, all armed with cleaning equipment. This is where the workers of Worlebury live and labor to create the gaudy frontage seen by tourists. The beach is now a decaying mess, visited only by the cultists who attend the chapel there. To linger here, you'll need to work. But labor is poorly paid. Take other workers' jobs too often, and they'll firmly encourage you to depart. Well, we were asked to meet someone along the beach, yeah? We could assist with the shoveling. We're not super good at shoveling. Feed the kitchens of the lanes. How else do you expect them to satisfy customers? Why is this a Vales role? That's disconcerting. Alright, let's go for a walk along the beach, I suppose. You can scarcely see the beach in the off-season, so dense are the mists. Beneath your feet, something crunches and cracks. So the off-season is what they call this place that is maybe spatially coincident with... It has to be, right? It's in the same place as the part of Worlebury that the tourists see, but not sort of out of phase with it? Alright, we're going for a walk along the beach. I probably don't have enough information yet to be figuring out exactly what's going on here. Let's not rack my brain too hard. Worlebury Juxtamare is shattered beams and broken stone, and the beach is a stretch of filth clotted in stinking clumps. Even here, there is work to be done. You could assist. Well, I was issued an invitation. Should I divest the donkeys of their eggs? You know, I've been playing video games a long time. I've done a lot of weird stuff in video games, but I have never before had the opportunity to divest the donkeys of their eggs. This is a truly singular experience we are having here. Let's go visit the cult first. The eggs will still be here when we get back, probably. Their chapel lies on the beach, at the edge of the mist. It is wefted tendons and yellowing bone, the pews muscle cured in salt. It's amazing how spacious this place is, given the exterior. From the outside, it looks like just another corpse washed onto the shore. Yo, alright. So, this game loves a metaphor, right? It loves a little bit of poetic imagery. And I thought at first that that's what was happening with all the bones and whatnot. You know, like the fence posts in the moonlight looking like bones in that Tom Waits song. They're not literally bones. But now, what appeared to be metaphor has been so consistent over so many lines that I'm thinking it's maybe not metaphor anymore. I'm having a hard time telling what's real, which I guess is just the writing doing a really good job. I should speak with the parson. The parson knows what's happening, right? If anybody can help me here, it's the parson. Finally, a gash in the crowd. You go up to speak with the parson. His voice is water, warm, hypnotic. They were kind to you, the bedraggled parson says, abruptly and without vitriol. Only a pale wonder, eyes fever-warm under the wilds of his hair. It is all he extends. Was he talking about the officials from the Bureau of Entertainments? Or someone else? This was my first assumption, but... yeah, valid question. Agree to recruit for the cult. Am I willing to recruit for... I don't even know what the cult is yet. But you know, we don't actually have to do it, necessarily. Let's hear the request, at least. The bedraggled parson sighs. They are so lonely, all of them. Empty but for the grief in their ribs. If only they'd come here. Find them, he burbles. Find them. Find the lonely, the broken-hearted, the barely breathing, the ones who'd think this port could ever save them. Find them. Tell them about they who must grieve, about us, about how love can turn in the heart like a key and open the soul to the universe. Speak to them of change. Tell them. Tell them. The words seep from the bedraggled parson, tie themselves into gibberish, nonsense sounds like the spill of cold water on glass. For minutes he is inchoate. Then, you need clothes. The cultists cram you into second-hand finery, shabby but serviceable. Now you are suitably attired, they bundle you across the off-season and through a door to Worlebury. The membrane blocking it shivers and twitches, reluctantly allowing you to pass through. Time tingles on your skin for several minutes after your arrival. Okay, and we're just back out in the touristy part, and our clothes are kind of okay? Do I want to do this? I'm concerned. We could betray the cult and forge a different alliance. Just entering the office is not a betrayal, however. Okay, we can slide across the off-season whenever we want, I guess now, at the cost of a savage secret, so it's a good thing we have some. I don't have enough information to feel like I know what I want to do with the things that we know now. And what even are the things that we know now? Well, we could gather new members for the cult. I mean, if I want to find some stuff out, this is what to do, right? This is how we will get more information about what is happening here. No amount of finery is enough to hide the grief weighing from their lashes. These poor souls must hear your words. So our hearts give us a guarantee of some kind of success. And you will only lose your vision of the heavens if you fail, which we know that we won't. What is... This one costs gossip and sky stories. You'll need to start with enthralling tales, then drop to the personal. This is a pretty standard cult pitch, I think. Alright, we have the skill necessary to be very good at this, apparently. I'm gonna do it once and see exactly where it leads. Boy, what do we even say to them? I don't know what the cult is. How do I convince people to join it? A man, a woman, teenagers lanky as hounds, a couple too old for the weight of their years. They listen to the sutras and the scriptures of transformation you repeat, their entire bodies poured into the act. Something in the words sings to them. And, one by one, they say yes, yes, and yes again, discreet in their reverence. You give them directions to the cult's headquarters and pats on the shoulders. They receive your attention with the gratitude of children. Can I just tell people how to see the door? I don't know how I saw the door. Well, I guess let's go back to the church and see what our deed has earned us. Still not 100% clear on how awful the thing we just did was. Maybe they'll be happy over there. Maybe they won't be able to tell the difference. And if they can't tell the difference, is that the same as them being happy? Is it worse? It bleeds from your teeth, the story that grants you passage, guilt-rinded and sour. Yeah, let's head back over there. We may betray them to the Bureau of Entertainments yet. I have no idea where this is going to lead. You tell a passerby a story they'd not expected, something raw, profoundly and audaciously private. They gasp and the air jumps, irises into a door like a wicker tunnel strung with fairy lights. You dash through and the air feels membranous, stinks of burning wire. It is a wall of mucus 2 feet thick, and it calls your eyes in oil-slick rainbows. Okay, well that's a good explanation for why this costs a savage secret. As good as we're getting, anyway. Alright, let's just head on over to the cult. and report the results of our recruitment mission. The bedraggled parson will likely wish to be notified of your success. Thank you, says the bedraggled parson, tone milk-mild. He gestures, an inflection of the hand that draws the eye to a swath of new faces, each tendril-haired, paraffin-pale, and without expression. Then one laughs jerkily, fingers picking at their chewed-down hems, and it becomes clear who they are. They who must grieve is soothed by their presence, as they are by their contact with the numinous. A susurrant echo. The parish is repeating his every word. That's creepy. Cult has another task for you, and we've gained... everything about what's happening here is kind of otherworldly. Not enough, the bedraggled parson warbles. They need more. We need more. This thing we're doing is bad, right? It would be bad to recruit more people. I am curious. And our character would be more curious than I am. But this is the kind of thing that gets you, driven mad and then turned inside out in a Lovecraft story, right? The search for this kind of knowledge. This is exactly the sort of ex lucid ad tenebris stuff that I should have learned is a bad idea. Let's agree to visit the Avid Horizon. We don't necessarily actually have to do it. He unrolls sheets of vellum, their surfaces vernix slick and intaglioed with elegant, if mildly tentacular, handwriting. My poor, poor children. They are unhappy. They listen, but they do not understand. They cannot understand. They are deafened by their own grief, broken, bent to the noise of their own hearts. I cannot reach them. The bedraggled parson shakes his head as he offers you the stack of paper. Take these to the Avid Horizon. Find the displeased. They might assist my flock. Find these guides, these psychopomps of petty suffering. Give them these, and ask them to come here. So we are at this point not actually recruiting for the cult. We're bringing people here to use as instruments to help the cult understand? Is that less bad? Is that a thing that I should be okay with doing? Now that we've done a little something for them, does having a word with the parson yield a different result? His voice is water, warm, hypnotic. We understand that it can feel demeaning. When he speaks, it is with the resonance of a choir, symphonic and strange. To do such menial things. But they are necessary, as breathing is necessary, as light, as air. He seems to be acknowledging the tasks he asks of you. This is almost certainly no indication that he intends to remunerate you suitably. Yeah. Very few people do. Well, I guess let's go back to the beach. I am very curious about where this is all going. We could divest the donkeys of their eggs. The donkeys here aren't enthroned in feces, but they require attention nonetheless. What do you think will happen if we do this? Do I want a donkey egg? I don't. So they said that if we want to stay here, we'll be required to work. But that working too much could upset the other people who work here. We haven't really been given any indication that there's a Worlebury style timer mechanically. Oh no, never mind. It totally is. I just need to actually mouse over things. Okay, well we don't need to work right now. We haven't spent any of our favor just yet. And it sort of doesn't seem like there's anything else here to do. There is not... Wait, we don't have this quest, do we? I definitely have I have a care package, but Was it supposed to go here? No. No, we were supposed to drop off a package in London. Did I actually do that when we were back in London? You know, I don't think we did. So we could leave the off-season and head back to the dock. We don't really have a lot of things worth doing on this side. You could go for a walk along the beach, but that doesn't really help. Yeah, we don't need to do any of this stuff. Alright, you know what? I'm going to go do the donkey thing just because I'm very curious. The donkeys are infertile, a flint-eyed woman reassures you. None of these eggs will ever reach fruition. The zygotes strangle themselves in the sack. But they do need to be flensed from the donkeys. Otherwise, there's the risk of rot, and worse. You spend a few hours with a knife, gingerly paring the eggs from the underside of their bellies. They come apart in clusters, soft and milky gray, their inhabitants silvery and still. So to maintain a low profile here, you gotta work, but while you're laboring, someone else is unemployed. Gained ourselves some tales of terror and savage secrets. Yep, so there's not really any reason to do that until we can... Maybe this doesn't work the way I thought it was. I thought this was like sort of like our welcome in Port Avon, where doing things would decrease it, and then we would have to occasionally work to build it back up. But doing that actually reduced our working in the off-season quality. Do we want to drive that down to 0? If we do that, I assume that's what's going to cause the other workers to drive us out. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else of value to do here right now. I guess let's just leave. This place is real creepy. The off-season, but also Worlebury in general. Yeah, I'm cool to go. The doors are gorgeous Baroque perversions set with gold leaf, and they stand untethered to anything but the constellation-gnawed sky. Step through the doors and back into the clamor of the port. Onwards? Wait, okay. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's buy some stuff and get the hell out of here. We still have a lot of traveling to do. Man, my terror is, like, really high. Should we cough up some more specimens and then just hang out? To bribe our way through the door to the off-season, wow, that is not that expensive. You can also enter the off-season from Worlebury, but even there is a price. Yeah, we could go back inside and then just not look too hard at what's happening around us and maybe reduce our terror a little bit. I think I'm going to do that. We'll eat some rubbery lumps or whatever, and we'll just take it really easy because I desperately need my terror to go down. I can't just fly around with this much. Alright. Come on, you know the deal. Hat. Really good hat. Let's just stop at a charming tea room. Terror has fallen. And then we're going to stay away from the donkeys, because they freak me out. Let's eat some rubbery lumps. Okay, that's, it's coming down. Here's a path to the beach. Who wouldn't want to visit the beach? Okay, that doesn't actually seem to have helped us. We got close to the mists, and it was creepy. Tea room again. Even more tea. Even more stolen crockery. Alright, looks like we're going to get one more. I just really love the tea. Alright, now we have... we get to do one more. The thing is, I have so many feelings about this tea. I'm assuming that, that if we were to pursue these, we wouldn't get access... maybe we would get access to new parts of the off-season? Because otherwise, why would it still be showing us the options? Maybe. I guess we ought to try. Let us ponder for a moment that strange unearthly taste. A residue persists from that last cup of tea, a flavor like roasted chestnuts and the color blue, like absinthe brewed in the belly of a star, which is a thing that you could actually get out here in Albion, I imagine. Yeah, let's do this and see if it just takes us across to the same part of the off-season. The sour tang of that last sip resides in your palate, in the oily coating on your tongue. It is like, but entirely dissimilar to, the more familiar teas of London. It would go magnificently with a fresh scone, some ant-manufactured jam. But the aroma is fundamentally incorrect. The citrus notes mingle with the nostalgia for a time that's never been. The warm spices heighten the anxiety that bubbles with every sip. This tea remembers how it will come to be made. It is a struggle to ignore the details. Yeah, so this tea remembers how it will come to be made. Is the off-season spatially coincident but temporally separated from the rest of Worlebury, or... I'm probably trying to think with too much precision about this. The good news is, although it is time to be elsewhere and we did gain terror, we got 2 caddies of dried tea, so that's valuable. Alright, well, I think we had best leave swiftly. My clothes are in tatters. My very fine hat. Do we want to go back in one more time and nuke our terror? I kind of think I do, because it's kind of a pain to remove terror around here, and we gain it very quickly. That's all of our uncanny specimens, although it turns out they're not that hard to come by out here. Alright, so let's just go to the tea room. I guess we could explore the tiny lane bedecked with shops. Yeah, sure. That's a fine way to lose terror as well, I guess. So that dropped our terror by 5. Was the tea room doing the same amount? It might have been. Alright, well, we're just going to continue exploring this lane over and over again, despite the fact that at this point it should be pretty well explored. Succumb to the wiles of a rubber lump seller. I'm just trying to make sure, like... It looks like each one of these things is 5%. It doesn't look like any of them are any better than the others. Okay. Well, it turns out all you have to do is just not think very hard about the nature of what you're doing. Somehow we can still lose terror in this place. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Like, maybe forever. Menu is being very unresponsive right at this moment. There we go. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. I'm not doing that, by the way. Stop firing. Huh. Okay, well, when I fired the other cannon, it made it stop. That was very strange. Okay. Something to crave out in the mist. I think we'll just head north, if it's all the same to you. It's been a weird day out here in Albion so far. So we still don't know the new locations of Perturance or Brabazon Workworld or the Avid Horizon. And some of those are very important to our immediate goals. I mean, it's so factory-like out here. We have to be near Brabazon, right? That was a bad shot. I don't care about that thing enough to even go after it. Scout returns. What has it found? Something that glisters. Well, I feel like we've got to be close to Brabazon. I don't know that I want to turn around. Oh, that's a hostile. These Albion Marauders are definitely tougher than the Reach Marauders. And where can I get one of those mangonels that fires 3 times in quick succession? I'm gonna put a little bit of distance between him and me so that I can dodge if he fires again. Yep, like that. I missed him. I feel like this train... It really does feel like this train dodges sideways better than the last one did. Certainly better than the one before that. I'm just gonna send our scout out while we're fighting here. Wow, look at that. He has nothing to report. Except that the sky is vast, and that I'm not paying him enough, I'm sure. Man, I cannot hit this thing to save my life. Do you remember, like, the last couple of episodes when all of a sudden it had seemed like I had finally gotten the hang of our weapons? I just need to put the front of my train to the side of your train. This is not... I mean, it's a beautiful ballet, but it's not very productive for either of us. Took a little bit of hull damage there, because I overheated and immediately fired. Trying to get... There we go. Trying some new tactics. Well, we know raiding the safe's not going to be worth very much. On Albion's fringes, the Marauder captains rule their engines like tyrants. I mean, to be fair, I sort of do the same. Gained a barrel of unseasoned hours. Well, okay. I suppose it's something. So, we probably need to move a little bit before we send the scout back out, given that he found nothing during the fight. I guess let's just keep going toward wherever looks the machiniest. Say the color in the air has changed quite a bit. I think we're maybe pulling away from the part that looks like a work world. Well, whatever that is that's glistering, it's doing it right in front of the train. I guess we can go check it out. Indigo-stained starlight dapples a relic of the past. This is a wilderness of exiles, best forgotten. Thunder of industry has fallen silent here. What is that? That's the something that glisters. Is it... Curator's egg, the inconvenient ant chuckles. Oh, pardon me, dear. I just got that. Do you want to explain it? Well, this looks not great. One of your crew dons their thermal sky suit and steps out into the cold. After a few minutes, they return, clutching an object that looks uncomfortably like a large wasp nest. Reckon it's a curator's egg, they say, carefully handing it to you. It looks delicate, but has a heft to it, as if something dense is nestled beneath all the papery outer layers. Oh, we reckon somebody would want to buy this? Here's the thing, there's nothing I'm more afraid of than wasps. That's not true. Death. But, also, wasps can cause death, so, you know, it's not that different. Take it on board. Let's put it in a crew quarter and just, like, lock that door very securely. Someone in a busy port is sure to want to buy it. One of your people swaddles the egg in a grease-stained blanket and wedges it into your hold. Sitting among crates and barrels, it looks more fragile than it did before. Eggs can be sold at St. Dominic's Station in London, Wolvesey Station in New Winchester, and King's Idol in Pan. Alright, well, we'll be heading back to London at some point. Alright, let's keep moving. What is this light? Oh, it's not light, it's just a strain of wind, I guess? It sort of looks like lights, doesn't it? Wait for the scout to come back. Okay, yep, there is something very terrible. Right over here, we can see the edge of it. I definitely feel like Albion is less inviting than it once was. It seems like a much less pleasant place overall. Maybe we ought to look more thoroughly around the transit relay. The transit relay and the Brabazon work world were quite close together on the old Albion map. Alright, well here we have an opportunity to shed some more terror, which we are accumulating at just an incredible rate. It seems like we never run out of the stuff. Alright, we're going to carefully avoid all of the actual coffins. Oh. That was not a very good shot. What's he found? He's found there's something of value up that way. Oh wait, it's a Juggernaut, right? It has Juggernaut guns. You gotta be a little careful. The fact that it's pointed away from me does not mean that I am safe. I mean, I would love to kill it, because you know how I feel about loot. I don't think that was actually a hit. I think that was just the projectile reaching its maximum range. Oh, he didn't actually accelerate. He's cunning, this one. Fortunately, the tourney gun doesn't actually seem to be firing. Like, it's turning to face us, but he's only using the gun that's actually on the front of the train. Hopefully the other one is inoperable. Alright, very close now. Just need one more good volley. That'll do. We could search the crew cabins and gain terror in addition to any other discoveries we make, or we could try to recover some panes of stained glass because they are very valuable. Chance of losing crew, though. I can't remember. Do we need 5 or 6 to operate this train safely? I am curious about what's in the crew cabins, but panes of stained glass really are quite valuable. Yeah, let's go for the stained glass. We're pretty likely to succeed. Not all the way likely. The chambers of the dreadnought have become an extended death trap. Slivers of glass fall from ceilings. Vitrified walls shatter as you pass, exposing you to the sky and its wind-blown shards. You are forced to turn back, with only a few larger fragments that might fetch some sovereigns at port. So a tale of terror, 10 terror, 63 sovereigns, and a nameplate. You know, that's like an okay number of sovereigns. A failed work world sprawls here, rusting uselessly. Alright, let's see what this valuable thing on the other side of the Great Storm is. I am pretty disappointed that we still haven't managed to find Brabazon. You would think we could just ask someone in London. Like, that they would have a, oh dear, oh my god, what is that? Let's just stay really far away from it, shall we? There's a bat larger than our train. Also glowing. A glowing bat larger than our train. Well, it's just some luggage, but happy to have it. Even more stuff. Even further out. You know, I think I'm cool to just turn around. Let's go back near the transit relay and see if we can find Brabazon from there. For real, though, you'd think there'd be like a directory, or we could talk to some other captains and they could at least tell us the sort of general directions. You know, if there's going to be transit relays, they're probably going to be pretty distant from Albion, or from London itself. Maybe this is exactly the kind of place. I'm getting so freaked out by, like, every shape that comes in off the edge of the screen now. It's been a stressful episode. A lot of weird stuff has happened. Okay, that's just a normal, totally normal-ass dreadnought. Just listing arbitrarily around the sky. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's becoming aware of us. I'm going to turn off my light. Oh, it's full of guests. You know what? It's one of those. We're close to building that guest weapon. Ow, Jesus. That was a lot of hull. Oh, man. Okay. I mean, I managed to give it a couple of real good blasts right away. No. Oh, God. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Its shooty parts are wedged right up against me. Oh god. Yep, gonna die. So we're just headed back to London then. It did drift off pretty bad there. We dealt a lot of damage to it, and I bet one more shot would kill it. But I also know that one more shot would kill me. And then we got 10 hull. Nope. No, 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 no. Do not do that. Do not turn around. Oh, good. The guests, right. A commotion in the cabins. Hey, we found one of them things again. Shoot. Well, we can't lose 2 supplies and 2 fuel, so conduct a thorough search. Better than a coin flip chance of this working. You organize a methodical search during which you dislodge another half-dozen guests. They seek out keepsakes. This is the same text that we got when we failed the search. But hopefully this time there won't be any further events. We definitely need to head back in the direction of London. Come on, tell me Brabazon is around here somewhere. I bet that is, in fact, it. We can afford to go over there. It is probably the case that there's not a lot of hostile stuff between London and the transit relay. Yeah, that thing getting to wedge its nose up in the side of our train, and then just like I was completely stuck. I couldn't turn or. That was very, very bad. Probably about the worst that could have gone. Okay, that's a normal dreadnought. Everything's fine. The princess truly is a monster. Oh, Jesus. I didn't see him. He was blending in very effectively there. I guess let's can him. You know how the crew loves cantankerous meat. Okay. This is good, though. We actually, we have an important thing to do here. There's another port report for us. We're going to make quite a bit of money when we go back to London between the port reports and the stuff we have to sell. The last day, a horn blares. Yep, so there's some workworlders who are officially released. We could just recruit some new crew. Former workers, now old and exhausted. We did not have a very good time helping a workworlder with their paperwork last time, if I remember correctly. And we do need more crew. It's just a very difficult role. The now elderly crew shuffle aboard, almost relieved to be given orders. Their bones are brittle, but they will work hard. Working hard is all that they've known in their lifetimes under the lash. This place just bums me right the hell out. Alright, so do we want to join a tour? We can sneak right into the revolutionary headquarters. Let's do that. We have our carriage clock here. And what we want to do is return to the back streets of Brabazon, write a port report, then come back here. Right? Because I definitely want to get this report. Alright, we got that. We could provide books to a school, but we have plans for this literature already, I'm afraid. Alright, let's go back to meet with the workers' leader. And ask how we can... Oh, you know what? I wasn't supposed to come in here. Oh, no, I totally was. What need would they have for this? The reverberant activist only smiles. Bring some, and you will see. For a moment there, I thought we were supposed to give this stuff to the agent out in the main part of, the part where you can take on the tour. Supply permits for the cause. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to bring them some permits too. We used all... Well, whatever. We know how to get permits now. We can just go kill juggernauts for them. Or dreadnoughts, rather. Well, let's definitely give them the nectar so that I can stop carrying it around. He takes the nectar with care. It has many uses. It is sweet, and so grants cheer and vigor. We will need both. It is a balm to the throat, which is valuable when shouting orders and chanting slogans. Best of all, tipped into the workings of a loom or other machinery, it works merry hell. Yeah, I would imagine it would. So we've gained some information about an uprising. The workers are angry. You know, we're doing good work here. Do they need more nectar? Okay, well, let's provide it. The workers strike and suffer for it. They are undeterred. Change must come. So we could just keep providing nectar. It's not that we need nectar and permits. It's that we need a certain amount of nectar or permits, I think. Alright, well. Let's, I guess get out of here? I'll be honest with you, I don't remember how to leave. Explore the true Brabazon. Doesn't this gain us? Yeah, this gains us terror. We're almost out of time. We can trade supplies for Tales of Terror. We don't really need Tales of Terror is the thing. I have like 30. We still do have to find that wrecked train again, too. That's probably going to be a real pain. So, the carriage clock is silent. We are out of time. We gotta go, man. I'll come back with more honey. The faintly bearded youth hurries you through the back streets. Return soon, he exhorts. He taps a coded knock on the heavy double doors to the bit between. They burst open before you. Sympathetic overseer lets you out. You're lucky. There's often a bit of reserve just in case. But there's cutting it fine, and there's this. He shakes his head sternly. Yeah, you know, if we get artificially aged a little bit, it wouldn't be the end of the world, I guess. Alright, let's, I guess just bounce. I think we're good here. What is this? For Starshine, requirements might be waived. Alright, let's get back to London. Apparently, we don't need permits, we could just bring them more tea. There's no sense in seizure of hours. The governor has discovered a secret stash of hours that have been squirreled away. So we could buy these. Can't do this when there's more than 80 unrest at Brabazon. Okay, never mind. We've made it impossible to purchase stuff from the bazaar. So, yeah, let's just take the most direct path back to London carefully. Try not to get embroiled in any more explosive conflict. The light going through here? Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, that was a little scary. I thought for a second there we were going to lose this character that we'd spent all this time on. And I mean, I know the whole lineage system exists. It's not like we would lose everything. But I'm not actually 100% clear what it is that we do lose. We definitely lose some amount of like progress on our quests and stuff. The kind of stuff it seems like it would be a real pain to regain. I would like very much if we did not suffer another death before the before we reach the conclusion here. I mean, we may as well keep sending the scout out. Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll find something between here and London. Or not, you know. I suppose that's possible. So it is December 6th already. Just want to stay a little bit to the east of the obstruction here, and we'll be at the dock in London in no time. The repairs are going to be pretty expensive, but between the port reports and the trade goods that we have to sell, we will definitely come out pretty far ahead. And maybe, before the next episode, I will actually do the math and figure out whether we have enough stuff to sell to just go back to New Winchester and buy that Moloch-class liner. It does seem like a hell of a train. I do feel like they could maybe just put in a couple more tunnels or something. It's almost like they want it to be difficult to navigate the area around London. Or maybe they could just put the dock on the outside. You know, what about that? And probably the dock was on the outside, right? And then the sprawl continued to occur. Wait, this is the wrong... Oh no, this is right. Never mind. Okay. Made it back and didn't even die a little bit, as long as you don't count, you know, all the other members of the crew. Alright, let's get our thing fixed. Really, only 200 sovereigns. You know what? Yeah, I guess we were out for like an hour, but we spent almost all of that time at Worlebury, didn't we? Alright, at St. Dominic's Station, an eggmonger. A young woman strides down the platform toward you, pushing a barrow piled high with crates the size of shoeboxes. I can always tell the ones that have got an egg. Have any you'd care to part with? Yeah, I have no interest in keeping this egg. I don't even really know what it is. Wow, 300 sovereigns is what it is. She opens one of the crates to reveal a bed of sawdust. Very carefully, she takes the egg and lays it gently in the crate. She replaces the lid and restacks the crate among the others. She produces a small packet of coins from a deep pocket in her coat. Then, with a grin, she heads off, pushing her barrow down the platform. Okay, well, that was definitely worth the, 5 seconds it took us to pick it up. I forgot to have my train repaired. We should probably make sure that happens. Okay, 261 sovereigns. Man. So we're still missing a couple of things. We now know where Worlebury and the Brabazon work world are. The Avid Horizon is still a mystery, and there's not that much map unexplored. I think it's more likely for something to be in here than in here, because this area is all I think, tunnels between civilized islands, whereas this is a little bit more wild. But it's also possible that the Avid Horizon is over here or over here. When we were down here somewhere, we did get a message saying that we could hear the sea. So probably the Avid Horizon's over here somewhere. That's my guess. Alright, do we have anything else that we need to do in London? Anything... Oh, I guess we do have some stuff to sell, don't we? So I don't know that we need any of these hours or any of this tea, do we? Oh! We needed tea for the Fortunate Navigator. Let's have some words with him. He often recounts escapades from his last engine, but rarely shares anything from before that. Perhaps a quiet cup of tea will draw him out. He clears his desk for the tea set by sweeping papers to the floor. I'll tidy up afterwards. The condition of his cabin casts doubt on that. I grew up a servant of the Eagle Khan's ambassador to London. His son, Altan, befriended me. We'd climb out the attic window to race urchins together. A wistful note enters his voice. We never won. The Navigator trickles a spoonful of sugar into his cup. Then another. Could we stop at London? He stirs and stirs the tea. Altan died. I couldn't even be at the funeral. I want to say goodbye. But I'll need to speak with his parents first. Well, it just so happens that London is exactly where we are. Where do you think he needs to go? Probably the station? Or probably in the Explore London option here. I guess we'll go with him? I mean, we sort of just met. The Navigator waits for you. I've been away some time. Your vouching for me would make a good impression. I want to make her proud. The house is small, but is in an expensive location. It is well kept. The windows are clean, the steps freshly swept. Asphodel is flourishing in an urn by the steps. It still feels like home. The Navigator gazes at the front door. It feels strange to know I'm just visiting. Okay, I'll ring the doorbell since you don't seem to be willing to. The Navigator stands beside you. He fidgets with a loose thread on his sleeve. The grieving matriarch herself opens the door. She sees the Navigator and yelps. She laughs. It disintegrates into tears. The Navigator enfolds the woman in a hug. The matriarch glares up at the Navigator fondly. I've been so worried. The moment I knew you'd signed up, It's so dangerous out there. What if something had happened to you too? She hustles the pair of you into the drawing room. My husband's at work. He'll be disappointed to have missed you. Okay, well, the Navigator has been welcomed in by his friend's mother. This seems like the sort of thing that would lead somewhere pleasant. Maybe a bit less existentially horrifying than the other things we've seen today. The grieving matriarch is determined you'll join her for tea. She even refuses to let the servants assist. She is rushing towards the kitchen when the Navigator intervenes. Well, we can't stay long. I mustn't impose on the captain. I promise, I'll come back soon. He draws the matriarch close and lowers his voice. I came to ask, may I borrow the key? I haven't been able to pay my respects. The grieving matriarch looks mortified. This seems like I would give them some privacy, but our character, I think, would be too curious to think of that. Let's just stand there and listen. For the old lady to react so strongly, this must be interesting. The woman takes an iron key from a side table. Please, keep it. I'm not going in again. Will the captain take you to the Empyrean? She searches the Navigator's face. You look tired. Are you working too hard? I'm fine. I'm first officer. I'm doing well. You're all skin and bone. Is the captain feeding you? The matriarch turns angrily toward you. Please, don't. The Navigator's voice is barely audible. When Alton... I asked them to contact you. The matriarch rushes from the room. She returns, more composed, and carrying a well-read book. You should have this. She refuses to let the Navigator leave till he's promised to write, and to visit again soon. So the Navigator's been given the key to Alton's family tomb in the Eagle's Empyrean. Speak to him aboard your engine to continue. The Eagle's Empyrean, that must be, like, in the Blue Kingdom, perhaps. Alright, well, I guess let's have a quick chat with him then. Even off duty, the Navigator is constantly checking the crew. He is avoiding being alone. Let him know that you've seen this before. He has to share his burden. The Navigator joins you in his cabin. Finally, the words tumble out. I thought I was all right. I just got on with my work, and I was doing well. He reaches beneath his bunk to pull out the book the matriarch gave him. Alton read this all the time. He'd act it out to the voices. It is the epic of King Gissar. Alton knew the true me. He shared his clothes, helped me bind my chest the first time, got me into my first fist fight. The Navigator sits up proudly. He was my best friend. When we were children, I made a promise to him. The Navigator stares blindly at the book. Okay. Well, the Navigator made a promise to his friend when they were young, and that is not going to be... Okay, I was going to say, is that really not going to be made any more explicit? But here we go. What did he promise, and why does it prey on him? When we were grown up, we would go exploring together. We'd go on great quests, do mighty things. The Navigator takes several breaths before continuing. We'd be heroes. People would write stories about us. I'm exploring the skies, and the Navigator turns his face away. He didn't even get to leave home. He wipes his eyes on his sleeve and stands resolute. I'm not going to break my promise. I will give him adventures worthy of King Gissar. Please, Captain. I want to go to Eagle's Empyrean. I'm breaking him out of his tomb. Is that a good idea? But I'll need your help. You'll need a visa to come with me. The London Embassy there will give you one. He frowns. If you've not been to Eleutheria, the relay is near Hybris, in the Reach. That is the only way to get there, huh? Okay, well, I guess let's conclude our business in Albion, and then we're headed back to the Reach once more. It's good to have some confirmation on that, and also on the location of that relay. Well, I suppose with that we are probably done for the day. Okay, I was just making sure that I had not changed our iron. 'Cause I did not remember him being the first officer that we actually had assigned now, but clearly he was. Okay, yeah, that is going to have to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when I guess it's possible we're going back to the Reach again. And we'll see you then.